Hello everyone, this is DragonLoon, and welcome back to another SimAirport episode. Last time we had gotten in a couple of our large aircraft stands, as well as our baggage handling system, which we put mostly down below. This time, what I think we're going to do is we are going to get into what I think is the one of the most time consuming aspects of this game, and that's fuel. I say it's time consuming not because it takes a long time to set up, but because it takes a long time to fill up. That is because if you look up here at the very top of the screen, we have all these bars. Now, as you can probably guess, they pretty much tell you exactly what they indicate, such as this one is your bank balance, this one is your passenger satisfaction, airline satisfaction, and weather. This middle one, or this kind of middle right one, is your fuel price. That's not the price that the airlines are paying you. That's the price that you are paying for the fuel. And if we go in here to our commercial panel and go to fuel services, that price is per liter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's per liter. So it can get very, very, very expensive to fill up your fuel tank. The upside is it helps make money rather quickly. And if you remember last time, we had gotten ourselves a bank loan, and we still owe $800,000 on that. So we definitely want to get that taken care of. So what we need to do, as I mentioned in the last episode, which if you haven't checked that out, make sure to check that out, as I think it was a really good one. Anyway, what we need to do is right here, we need to add in a couple of things. The first thing we need to do is we need to add in another road. But I want to make sure that we can... No, we can't expand that yet. Why can we not expand that yet? Probably because the research hasn't been completed. And... runway... no. Multi-lane access. Yep, we have not completed that. Why is that not completed yet? That is interesting. So let's turn that back. Oh, it just hasn't completed yet. All right, so while we wait the 3.8 game hours, we can do a little bit of other work. The first thing that we need for the fuel system itself can be found under utilities, and that is a fuel depot. Now, the fuel depot is the access point for the fuel provider to get fuel into the airport. So we'll put that right there. Now, we're not going to put it up against this road right here because we're going to add a little spur right here for those fuel tankers to come off so that they don't block up the rest of the traffic as they are loading up the fuel. Now, I see a new building, fuel station. Oh, that's right. This is for our fuel trucks. We actually won't need this because if we go over here, these magenta areas are for the fuel. There we go. The fuel ports. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, what we need to do is we need to go back over here and get one more thing, and that is this underground fuel tank. Now, the underground fuel tank, we actually can't purchase right now. That is way too expensive. But it can hold 1.6 million liters of fuel, and that's why the fuel can get very expensive. But for now, I guess we're going to take this regular size fuel tank, which is very unfortunate. And we are going to... Can we rotate it? Yeah, we can rotate that. We are going to put that right there. Okay. That will get us a little bit of fuel going. Then what we need to do is we need to grab our fuel pipes and connect up all of this. So we will run this just like that. And then up here like that. And then connect up all our fuels, all our aircraft stands. And we really only need to go to right about there. We will eventually go over here, but that's for other aircraft stands. So, not that one. All right, so what we need to do is we need to let all of that build up. All right, and now that we have all those fuel lines, I think we have all those fuel lines. Yes, we do. All right, now that we have that, let's go ahead and grab our planning thing, and we'll go ahead and clear that. Turn this section to cyan, because that's where we're going to put the large underground tank, and we are just going to clear all of this to that point. All right, now what we need to do is we need to upgrade the aircraft stands to add in the fuel ports. And we'll do that. So, I guess what we need to do is we actually need to deconstruct the pipes before we put in the fuel ports, which is very unusual. I guess I didn't realize that because I usually put the fuel ports in first and then put the piping in. Anyway, now that we have those deconstructed, we should be able to put in the necessary fuel ports, like so. And then we can go back down here and add back in all those fuel pipes. All right, and now that we've gotten that done, if you look down here, our research is all done. So we should be able, and yes we do. You see the two arrows right here? That means we have two pathways. So we can grab our roadway, start right here. And actually, what I want to do first is I want to put the roadway out here for our delivery trucks to get out of the way of the buses as well. And that means we need to move all of this. So what we want to do is we'll grab the fence here and we'll just make like that and go like that. Then we need to add in the gate. Outdoor fence gate. Just like that. And now we can dismantle all that. And then the slightly arduous task of expanding out the storage. But while we're at it, we are going to add in some storage shelves, which will allow us to keep all of this stuff more organized and allow us to store even more stuff. All right, then we remove that and they'll automatically, just like that. And now we can extend out the deliveries and dismantle those deliveries. All right, now we can add in our roadway. Alrighty, so there is that. Now what we want to do is go into our operations and we want to... Wait, why is it? Huh? Oh, I forgot the fuel trucks. That's right. All right. So we need to add in... Hangars are found under the Structures tab. We're going to add in a large hangar, and we're going to put it right here. All right, and now that that is built, we're going to fill it up with fuel trucks. All right, 5 fuel trucks. All right, now we can go in here and we can choose a pricing model. Now, we can do track market, which will automatically adjust the price that the airlines pay us, or we can do a fixed price, which is exactly what it says, a fixed price. I like doing the track market. Now, it does sometimes mean that you don't make a profit from the fuel, and I can show you in the here in the profit and loss statement what I mean by a profit or a loss from the fuel once we start getting that. But at the same time, it does help with the airline satisfaction, because as the price that we pay for fuel drops, it means that the airlines pays less. So I just always do the track market. And down here we can choose the adjustment to the price, meaning whatever this is, it increases by this amount. And we'll leave it at 15% for now. Now, down here you can see tomorrow's estimated demand. Now, if we want to be able to fulfill this, we need to purchase at least, call it 410,000 liters of fuel. We don't want to turn on the recurring order, because the recurring order is automatically going to purchase up to capacity. But here's the other thing. We have a demand for up to 410 liters, but we can only hold 90,000 liters, which is very unfortunate. So I need to go in here and look at our large fuel tank, which is $500,000, but it can hold... Oh, it can hold the same as the underground fuel tank. Oh, I wanted to do the underground fuel tank because it would open this area up for expansion of the airport. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to grab this large fuel tank once we have the money. All right. And so now that we have that and it's connected, we can go back in here and we can purchase. Now, right here, you can do the one-time buy and sell. I've never sold fuel. Don't know why you would want to, but we'll do a one-time purchase, and we need to purchase 410,000. Unfortunately, that is going to be $500,000. So what I typically do is, well, we're going to wait for about $500,000. And then we're going to purchase fuel, and that will start bringing in. The other thing you want to do is you want to take a look at the market price and try and purchase when it's low, so that, you pay less, but hope that it goes up before, aircraft take fuel. That way you gain more, obviously, because, buy low, sell high. So, let me wait for this funding, and, but unfortunately, as we wait, you can see that the demand keeps going up. So now we actually need 420,000 liters. So, let me get this going. And, yeah, we'll go from there. All right, folks. So what I'm doing here, I'm not actually purchasing all of it at once. I'm purchasing a small amount, and I'm not delivering immediately. If you don't deliver immediately, deliveries will come in at 11 o'clock at night. So we can purchase in chunks and hopefully be able to get up to the 420,000 liters before the delivery. The only problem is that it won't be one set rate, but that allows us more flexibility because it might actually drop down as well. So I also did pay off a little bit more of our loan, just, so that we aren't paying quite as much in interest. All right, and I wasn't able to get the 120,000 liters before the delivery, which is right there. We did get, call it 7%, and we'll start earning a little bit. That will drop down. Now, eventually what we want to do is get this to a point where it is almost full, and then we can set the recurring orders, which will hopefully get us to the point where we're profitable. Now, speaking of profitable, let's go back into the profit and loss statement and take a look at what I was meaning. If we go to yesterday, if you look at your fuel line, you can see the expenditure. So I spent $204,000 on fuel, but we didn't receive any money for fuel, so obviously we had a deficit there. But as planes come in today, now that we have fuel, we'll start earning income. And eventually we want to get to the point where the income from the fuel is more than the expenditure. Therefore, we are profitable. So, let me work on this, and once we get to the end of day 69, we will pause it and come back and visit this profit and loss. So see you in just a second. All right. So, as you can see here, we only have 5 liters of fuel left out of the 225 liters that were purchased. Maybe 225 liters. 225,000, I should say. I don't remember exactly how much we had, but if we close out this and look at our profit and loss, we can see that because I also did purchase enough to get us barely through tomorrow if everybody makes requests at 440,000 liters, or 444,000, excuse me. So I did purchase enough to be able to get us through the next day, which it hasn't been delivered yet. But it did cost me close to $550,000. Now, the other downside is that now the price that the airlines are going to be paying, one reason that this went up so much is because this price right here, which is the average base price that I paid for the fuel, went down. Yesterday, the average base price was $1.37, I think it was, and now it's $1.24 per liter. So, we didn't make quite as much as we spent, because if you look over here, we made $182,500 in fuel, but yesterday we spent $204,000. So, the drop in fuel price is good for us and bad for us. So it's fickle. But let's go ahead and finish this out. And I am going to continue to pay off the bank loan, at least a little bit more. And then we're going to continue to work on filling up our fuel tank while working on other things, such as adding in another large aircraft stand and potentially adding in an extra large. But in order to add in the extra large, we will need to expand, which is going to be $504,000 by itself. So, yes, you can see here that our cash flow chart, we had been holding pretty steady on the green, which is the income, and then we suddenly shot up because of the fuel. All right, folks, so we are almost to the end of day 70, and I just purchased 620,000 liters of fuel, which is a little bit more than what is max requested or estimated for the day 71. And I did that because we keep running out, and I'm trying to get to the point where this starts filling up. And the only way we're going to do that is by purchasing more than demand. And there we go. So now if we go back and look at our profit and loss, our fuel, we're still getting a loss, but yesterday we had spent call it $550,000. We were really close to turning a profit there with the $425,000, but we didn't because the average price per liter that we paid was more than what the airlines paid, simply because as I was purchasing more, this average kept going down because the price of fuel kept dropping. So, just something to keep in mind on your playthroughs. This is just how I do it, because I made the mistake one time of doing the recurring order, and it filled up my 1.6 million liter capacity fuel tank, and I went, several $1 million in the red and couldn't come out in time. So this just allows for not going in the negative, because as you saw last time, when you go in the negative, you only have just a little bit of time to get out of the negative before the game's like, well, you're a poor CEO, so we're going to give the airport to somebody else. So just something to keep in mind. So let's keep going, because I still have a little bit more that I'd like to try and do in this episode. All right, folks. So I've got good news, bad news, and okay news. Bad news is we're paying an awful lot for fuel at almost $1.50 a liter. Good news, that means that the airlines are paying more. Other good news is I've gotten it up to 93% of capacity, which means we can turn on recurring orders and it will automatically buy up to our capacity every day at 11. What this will do, it will actually increase this number here, because one reason that this is so low, even though the price we're paying is so high, is because I've been buying in small increments, and with the fluctuation in price, that's what's causing this average to go down. So that is really good news. Other good news, we don't have any loans left. Yeah. But the bad news is we still need to expand. And in order to expand, we need money. But we also have to make sure that we have enough in the bank to be able... money problems. If it isn't one thing, it's another. Every single time. So, what we need to do is we need to start our expansion. And what we're going to do to start the expansion is we are going to just simply add in this other large aircraft stand so that we can start getting in more flights. Because as you can see in the perfect ops bonus, we're just definitely able to handle it. However, that reminds me, the first thing that I do want to do. This stairwell is getting crowded. So I actually want to expand that out to have another stairwell, just so that they have more ways down. And that means that we need to expand out here as well. And let's get the floor tiles, and we'll make sure that we grab the right floors. All right. So now that we have that, and our passengers can get downstairs a lot easier, let's check on our security. Security is not getting overwhelmed, which is really good. And it looks like our stairway isn't getting overwhelmed. And we actually don't need this moving walkway, so we are going to dismantle it. So let's check on our fuel real fast. And we're only down to 91%. That's interesting. Oh, they're not liking the price that they're having to pay. That's unfortunate. Alright. So, what we can do is we can now start our expansions. Alright, and one thing that I am going to do... Ooh, that took a lot. How much did we just pay in... fuel? $260,000. But not very much fuel was requested today, which is unfortunate. Alright, one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting rid of some of these grants. And the first one that we can do is the investments. And because it's very easy, the first step, all we have to do, we've already done pretty much all of it, but the last thing that we need to do in order to unlock it is accept a new loan to finance construction, which is fine because I also want to work on which one was it? Airline services. And in order to do that, we need some more office spaces because we need to increase the airline satisfaction as well as negotiate 10 offices for an airline. So we need more offices anyway. So what we will do is we will go in here, go to bank loan, and we'll do... why not? We'll do another $2 million loan. So we'll get that, which is a really excellent interest rate, especially because the last one we had was really high. So we'll go ahead and accept that. Oh yeah, that's a much better interest rate than we were paying. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to continue or build new offices. So we are going to grab our walls and we're going to continue this pattern here. I can't tell what's what, so we're going to have to let that build up. And in the meantime, what we will do is we will go into our loan and pay most of that off. Hey, look at that. We can pay all of it off. All right, and then we'll go into the grants, and if we go to investment, we can see that we're done. Now we just select the next one. We've already paid off any loans. Now we just need to wait 3 days. After that, we can wait 7 days. Then wait 12 days. And then finally wait 15 days, and that will get us a bunch of grant money. So. Ew. All right, now what we need to do is go into zones, and we'll zone all of these conference rooms like this. Now, why are those not functioning? Oh, unreachable. Ah, haha, I forgot to do that. All right, so we will demolish those. Okay, now oh, yeah. We'll need a reception area, which we can actually put in here, which means the staff door will have to be changed. But that's fine. We'll get there. In fact, we can do that now. We'll go zone and scroll through here. Visitors reception, and we will zone that right there. But then we need to go to door and change that out. Or dismantle it first. And while we're waiting to dismantle that, we will search for the reception desk and put that in right there. Oh, that door is done, so we'll throw in a regular door. And then while we're at it, comfort, we'll throw in some bench seating. And we'll throw in some bushes just to make it look fancy. Like that. All right. Now, let's go back and put in the floor there. All right, so we need to add some more desks and chairs, and then zone all of these as offices. All right, now for the conference room, we need at least one conference table. But we also want to increase the look of this by putting in some windows. So we'll go back to ops. I think it's actually under construction. Yeah, there it is, construction. So we'll just make all of these windows like that. And then for these offices here, we'll put in a small window in each. For the foreman's office and the executive's offices, we'll put in some larger windows. All right, now we will find... Okay, So I guess it doesn't actually have a category. So what we'll do is we'll go conference. There we go. Which one do we want? Oop. So we'll go with the dark. Yeah, dark wood for this small one. And we'll go with the large light wood for these two. And then, of course, we need chairs. Just like that. Alright, now we'll go in here to the decor and... Alright. So, we finished that, and let's see if we finished the grant. No, we haven't. Still need to wait a couple of days, but we can go to the airline services. Now we need to hire a couple of sales reps, so we'll go into staff and admin, and we'll hire 13. Alright, there we go. And now you can see that there's a bunch of sales reps. So now, if we click on this, we need to have one rep for 3 airlines, and we do that under the flight manager. And what we can do is we can look at this number of scheduled flights right here, and we want to do the ones that have the most. So like this one here has 7. So we click there and we select a rep. We don't want any of our executives, so we'll do the sales rep and assign that. And then we'll go down here to this one that has 5 and do the same thing. And there's a sales rep, but you can see that it's assigned to a Forward Air, so we'll just go down to the next one. And do we want Atlantic International or Lernyville Air? I think we want... Nope, we don't want Lernyville Air. So we'll do this one. And there we go. And that grant is complete. Now we go to the next one, and it says load 10 planes with baggage, have 2 large or extra large gates, and increase overall airline interest to 70%. Now, since we got the sales reps, started hiring them, and started offering fuel, our airline interest has already gone up. So we'll go ahead and select that, and we just need to increase that to 70%. And if we go in here and look at, for instance, oh, I forgot that we have arrow time. All right, so if we look at a Forward Air, you can see that the communication is going up because we have the sales rep. But the commercial fees are still causing problems, and that's impacted the runway fees and terminal fees because we have them so high. So what we want to do is we want to go in here to operations, commercial pricing, and we'll go ahead and drop these back down. Now that we're making money hand over fist, in fact, if we go in here and look at our profit and loss and look at yesterday, well, while we're here, let's take a look at the fuel. So yesterday we spent $223,000 in fuel, but we made $235,000, so we turned a profit. Excellent. We also lost money yesterday because of the loan, so that's a bad example. And the day before was a bad example because of the loan. So let's look at today. Today, we're turning a profit of almost $500,000. That is impressive until taxes come out. Airline fees. Why is there a negative for airline fees? Oh, because we assigned reps. Interesting. All right. Well, we're still earning just over $250,000 a day, so we're doing really good. So we can drop this down. So we'll drop the terminal usage per passenger down to 35, and we'll drop the runway usage down to 1,000 and save that. Now, if we go in here, once more flights, actually it's already starting, so you can see that the commercial fees are starting to go up. So that is really beneficial. Now I really want to get Atlantic Inc. I really want to get Aero Time because I forgot that. So we'll select Rep and we'll go Atlantic Inc. and actually reassign them. So now we just wait for the airline interest to increase. And while we're waiting on that, we can finish this expansion project that we started. All right, so I went ahead and replaced the flooring that I had messed up just to keep consistency. And I've got this gate set to be finished relatively soon. But we want to change that to Terminal B. We also want to upgrade to fuel ports. And let's not forget extending out the fuel line. Then we can assign this to a baggage depot, as well as the gate agents. We also want to assign the gate agents to the queue. There we go. And now, as always, we go in and we start assigning flights. Not sure if I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but you can actually filter the available flights by specific sizes. So if we hit this large, we will only see those flights that can be, or that utilize a large aircraft stand. So let me get this taken care of. All right, there we go. And let's check on our grants. Let's see, investment is done. Yay! So let's go ahead and start the next one. And then airline services still quite isn't done. All right, so before I can see whether our airport is turning a true profit, I gotta wait for there not to be any government grants. So let this run a couple of days, and we'll see where we're going from there. All right, so even with me building a few more of these little digital ad displays, it looks like we are still turning a profit, and we've gotten it up to 67%. So I think it's slowly climbing. So we'll be able to hit that 70% satisfaction, no problem. However, we can earn more money. And that is by putting in cafes and shop stands and vending machines, which will also improve our passenger satisfaction. And I just realized I still keep forgetting to add bathrooms on the second level. But sadly, that will have to be for another day. I think we've gotten pretty far. We have our fuel tanks, um, which, if we look at our fuel services, we're almost at a demand of, or estimated demand of, half of our capacity. So as we add more flights and get more passengers and whatnot, we might just have to add another fuel tank to all of this. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But we did get our fuel going, and it is completely full, which did take me a while. We have our baggage going. We might have to expand our baggage handling out over here for future aircraft stands. We did add one more large aircraft stand to be able to handle. Now we are up to 42 flights if we go in here. 43 flights. And we also set up our sales rep offices so that we can start working on grants. Speaking of grants, we have started some of those. We've gotten almost all the way through our investment grants, and we've started on our airline service grants, which, once we get that complete, will allow us to have a fully, or a 24-hour operations airport. Next time, I think what I'm going to do, if we go down here, you can see that the passengers kind of get bunched up here on this escalator. I think I want to expand this out, which will actually give this conference room here a little bit more room, because I want to add in another escalator. Next time, we will also start adding in our passenger services, such as restaurants, cafes, shops, shop stalls, and things like that. And we will also expand out now that we're making money really, really fast, and we have a lot built up. So, if you found this entertaining or educational, leave me a like. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. And if you have any comments, suggestions, tips, or questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the Canton channel so you don't miss any more of this really awesome content. Until next time, stay frosty out there.